everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome to part 3 of my New England campaign here at HOI4 Kaiserreich, which I'll work the phrase Rhode into it in some way. So let's talk about the teeny tiny little insignificant, actually far from insignificant, oh, I didn't realize there was a Scorched Earth thing here. You can blow up railways. How long's that been there? Anyway, we're going to talk about teeny tiny little Rhode Island today for our state of the episode. So Rhode Island, for being so geographically small, actually has a really, really rich history, which I would like to go into more, but I only talk about these history things to sort of supplement it, especially for people, like right now I'm playing the United States of America. I know that not everybody who watches my channel is an American, so they don't maybe know about these things at all, so it's kind of like a little tour of the provinces, the states, the regions of the United States of America, which I thought you maybe would find very interesting. So Rhode Island gets its start in the 1600s, like a lot of the 13 colonies, and it's actually founded by colonists who were fleeing, or I shouldn't say fleeing, more like were kicked out of the Massachusetts colony, which was the really famous one. So what you basically have to understand is that this was a region, like the rest of the North American continent, that had several different native tribes, but we kind of think of the natives, I think, in a ubiquitous way, as if they were all the same, when that's really not true at all. When the colonists start coming over to North America, there's a lot of different tribes who have their own agendas, and it's really only by taking advantage of that the colonists are able to make headway here in New England by pitting, by forming alliances with one tribe to fight another, and then you later on betray that tribe, and so on and so forth. Repeat until you hit California, in a gross oversimplification of things. Anyway, so the Rhode Island had been the land that becomes Providence, Rhode Island. I'm clicking Massachusetts, not Rhode Island. There we go. All right, Massachusetts. Yep. There. Now we're anyway. There was a Native American tribe called the Narragansett who sold land to Roger Williams, who was a refugee from the Massachusetts Bay Colony. They had kicked him out. They had exiled him because he was in favor of church and state, which is, if you know anything about the founding of Massachusetts, which I'll probably talk about in a future episode, that's a no-go, separating church and state. So he's the one who kind of really first gets a toehold for the English in this area. And then he ends up being followed shortly afterwards by Anne Hutchinson, who is a pretty interesting character. Like she wasn't a believer in the separation of church and state, but she did seem to be a believer in, for lack of a better word, the separation of God and the church. She was really about how salvation could be reached with an individual's relationship with God, and that you didn't really have to go through the ministers. So this is like a much more individualized brand of Protestantism. So she ends up actually getting the Rhode Island itself. She's the one who purchases it, and then eventually her and her whole family get killed by natives, which is what we call divine punishment. So Rhode Island was kind of this fringe colony compared to the rest of New England, and at some point they actually formed a confederation and included everybody but Rhode Island, and seemed to really be threatening the colony. And so Williams had to end up going to England to essentially plea for their land rights and the ability to continue to be a separate colony. And this was something that actually continues to be a problem right up until the Revolutionary period. So Rhode Island ends up getting really, really rich off of its trade, particularly in slaves and sugar. Again, when we think of slaves, we think of the southern colonies, but it's northern. A lot of northern merchants are heavily, heavily involved in the slave trade, and perhaps none more so than those in Rhode Island. But the Sugar Act that gets passed during the Revolutionary period, because when I think of the American Revolutionary period, I think of like right after the 7 Years' War. I don't think of it as starting in 1775. I think of it starting in the 1760s with the things like the Stamp Act and the Sugar Act and stuff. Anyway, so So the Sugar Act goes through, and it's going to just cripple the Rhode Island economy. They go, we're not going to pay attention to this. So that's what really gets them in favor of being a part of an independence movement, which was really seated in the northern colonies early on. So another thing, though, is it was an area of high religious tolerance, which is what brought in Quakers. It's what brought in Jews, and then that's what leads to more international trade as well. When the what was I going to say next? Oh, gosh, I wrote down a couple of notes here, but no, I had something in between a couple of these notes. Anyway, let's just skip ahead. So then the American Revolution comes and goes, and then the Articles of the Confederation are set up, which gives a lot of power to the states. And I hope that from what I've talked about so far, you understand how like Rhode Island was like especially liberty, independence minded compared to some of the other colonies. They really wanted to be protected from a growing power, especially because that New England Confederation that had formed against them in the 1600s. In fact, they were such big supporters of the Articles of Confederation that when the Constitutional Convention was called in 1787, like people who study the period, like when you actually study the convention, it's actually the New York delegation that's really against a lot of the changes. Even though Hamilton was a part of that delegation, he was the only member of his delegation who's really pushing what becomes the United States Constitution. But Rhode Island didn't even send anybody there, and so they end up being the final one of the 13 colonies who actually joins the Constitution. When they ratify it, it's like I think it took them 3-4 years to do that. And then again, moving forward, by the time we get to the Civil War, it becomes this really industrial area, heavily industrialized, especially for its size. So they're making cannons, they're making rifles, they're making equipment for the army, non-military equipment. Well, it is military equipment, but stuff like tents and like and things like that you need. And so they were a big key part in the Northern victory. Also sent thousands of more men into the army than was actually required by the quotas. So there you go. There's a little bit of Rhode Island history. We're 7 minutes in. Jesus Christ, I probably should actually play the game now. Okay. Alright, so we're doing Town Hall Democracy. I think we can just go ahead and be on 5-speed for a little bit here. Ireland just joined the Reichspakt. It's a little early, isn't it? It's only 37. Michael Collins, what are you up to? What is going on around the world? Carlos Spain is getting completely wrecked. Iceland just became independent. Nice hair, dude. This guy looks like he should be like a musical composer. Doesn't he look like he looks like, I don't know, he should be behind a grand piano. And okay, weapons cache looted. Our team's making away. They stumbled off track by accident. They're continuing towards the main. Yeah, okay, so that's just more of those Underground Railroad stuff. So yeah, we're just slamming on the 5-speed today so we could start getting a lot more of these things going. Like you see, we're going to get the Ohio-Albany Lake line here. We lost contact with our team. What is this? Shoe strike. Perhaps emboldened by the Civil War tearing our nation apart, workers in the shoe industries took to striking. These are French Canadians. They demand higher wages, conditions, shorter work week, union representation. The manufacturers are offering a 10% wage increase. Offers were quickly put down. Joseph Martin Jr. has requested the governor of Maine deal with the situation at hand. The governor can call in the National Guard, which may involve further altercation and outright violence, though the protests will definitely be quieted. Alternatively, the government could negotiate with the strikers, though this would be a serious loss of face for the New England government to handle its own people. But isn't negotiation part of the handling? We're going to say the pin is mightier than the sword, because, yeah, it's going to cost us 10 political power, but it's my experience in Kaiserreich that if you're not willing to pay a little bit of political power, you're going to pay a whole lot later. So, all right, negotiating with the strikers. We've entered talks. Governor was persistent. The unions have to be administered by the textile companies. Finally, the strikers agreed to be supervised by company unions at the cost of having the rest of their demands fulfilled. Governor's negotiations led to doubt as whether or not he's capable of leading the state of Maine. Many in the nation do not see syndicalism as a present threat. Criticism from Democrats, soft stance, a surrender of syndicalism, but it was a success. So, Okay, well, the syndicalists are getting a little bit stronger. As long as we're still a majority party, it's not a big... You know what? Here's what we're going to do. I got all this political power, which I'm not using, right? Let's go ahead and rally some public support. That's going to give us 5% market liberalism. And it's going to more than offset. We're actually going to be in a stronger position than we were at the start of this, in half a year anyway. Okay, 4th of July, violence would settle down, 30-day deadline. Joseph Martin delivered his address by recalling the sacrifices Americans made in order to protect the liberty and prosperity of the nation, bravely waiting until they see the whites in their enemies' eyes before firing their limited ammunition. That's talking about the Battle of Bunker Hill, which is actually on Breed's Hill. We went to stress that Americans and Canadians were working now as equal partners and brothers, and someday America would be free once more, hopefully. Oh, we lost political power. I guess it's just July 4th is a sad day in 37, with all these circumstances. King Edward gave an address. That was good for us. Kashira. Refugees was a member of the CSA. They gathered information and they realized it was a safe house. Dang it. Alright, we'll get there. So what was it that I was actually trying to get to quicker? Decisions to sway public opinion. Yeah, I think I want all the political power wherever I can get it. So this is 0.2, 0.1, 0.02. Let's keep swaying the public opinion here. Yeah, I just want to get all the political power I can whenever I can. We're at a spot right now where we're getting almost a whole point today. Okay, Army reform debate. With the Civil War consuming the rest of the nation, each side has found itself rapidly militarizing. The Emergency National Guard units called up to maintain security on our south border may not be adequate to defend New England. Two prominent sides have formed. Edison and his fellow Marine officers proposed greater training of the Special Forces. A small corps of highly mobile professional soldiers would act as America's sword and shield to blunt any blows made by the enemy, as well as take the fight to them. They proposed the National Guard and our Canadian allies take control of the border's general defense. Meanwhile, General Keeney advocates for a general enlargement of the military, including conscription. Relying on Canada to defend our borders places us at the mercy of Ottawa. With a large population in the northeast, New England has plenty of potential recruits for the armed forces. Keeney argues our position and industrial capabilities allow our forces to grow in size without large shortages. So I was looking at this in between episodes, and yeah, I think like we can make really, really good special forces, but the thing is, it's just a little bit too spread out. This is all about, it's making the Marines better, it's making our Navy better, and stuff like that. And that'll be cool and all for when the time comes if the time came, I should say, that we needed to do naval invasions, we needed to go into the Caribbean and stuff. But I think that the Entente will have some sort of foothold already in the continental Europe if the time comes. So that we should hopefully not need to make one for them. It's actually looking really good right now because the Kingdom of Spain is winning, and I'm pretty sure the Kingdom of Spain... Wait, does the Kingdom of Spain join the Entente? I forget. They can join the Entente. It's a possibility. That's right. I think only the Carlists are for sure in the Entente, but they're going to lose. And then, if we're going into the Caribbean, that means that we've already reunited the states. In which case, I'm going to have such a big industrial capability that, having lower quality special forces isn't really going to matter. So, where those better special forces would matter is when I'm trying, in the short term, is going to be when I'm trying to take back the United States. And yes, there's something to be said about using mountaineers. We're going to have to fight across the Appalachians, the Rockies, the Sierra Madres. There's lots of mountains in America. But ultimately, I think it's just going to be better to go with the Keeney plan, which is just giving us just I think stuff that's better overall, better skills for our army leaders. We'll get 40 army experience, which is going to be really good for templates, reducing costs of land doctrines and stuff. Neither of these is super, super good when you get right down to it, but I just think this one is a bit better. Especially because it helps with the core territories. Although, actually, wait, no, I don't think we have the core territory buffs when we're down here. No, we don't. Yeah, neither's great, quite frankly. Though Green Mountain Boys... Oh, wait! Special Forces of the Republic Army Experience gain plus 0.35 daily. I don't think I saw that before. That's actually really huge. Because this gives me 15 army experience, but then with this, I'll have that fixed in a month and a half. Okay, that actually changes a lot. Let's double check these. Close air support, women in the factories. You know, we might actually do the National Guard after all. And you know, maybe we could just grab this, and then you know, there's other stuff we could do. We don't have to finish these trees anytime soon. Both of these are right here in the middle. Man, you know what? I think what we might do then is reorganize the Guard and then do Maritime School and then just focus on industry. I just talk myself out of it and then back into it. Yeah, America's strength lies in her special forces. Special forces focus. Recruitable population 1.50. Training time goes up, but we're going to get more weekly manpower, more division organization, more division experience gain, and experience solar losses going down is pretty good. So yeah, special forces here. Very nice, very nice. So after we're done with the public opinion, we're going to grab the Maritime School, and then that's it. We got other things. We got to work on industry. We got to work on dealing with the Great Depression and whatnot. Long Yun secures power in Yunnan. Yeah, because we got to get our industry up if we're ever going to declare independence. That reminds me, how's this going? Okay, we're gonna let's get pushing some of these units out. There we go. So we're already up to 15 divisions. We need more than 15, and then just 32 factories. So we're good. We're good. Just need 7. 7 factories. That's not a problem at all. Okay, let's start thinking about how we're going to deal with the Great Depression. Let's see, that's going to give me steel. We have some decisions here for infrastructure. The Triple C could be good. Reduces effects. Increases legitimacy. Down here we got 2 good political power gain things. So, okay, do I want to do labor management, which will hurt my stability but give me political power? Or I could do labor relations, which gives me a brief factory output bonus, which is like worthless this early in the game. Not worthless, but it could be better. I think I'm going to just take the stability hit. Unions are a menace. If we do not wish to see worker uprisings across New England, we must protect their ability to organize the defense of their rights. Ooh, see, that's another thing. Are we going to keep getting the union unrest stuff until, if we don't do that? Like, is that something we're just going to have to periodically deal with? Because then if I'm just going to be paying 10 political power and taking a hit with my party popularity constantly, I don't want to do it. So that I should do the labor relations. Weapons cache looted. Gosh, there's just so much to do. I don't think we're going to get involved in the war for a while. I'd be willing to bet we're not going to get into the war until at least 1939. There's so much preparation we have to do. We're not getting any daily army experience right now, so let's get that started sooner rather than later, because the extra popularity is going to be good, but we've already got so political power is what I meant to say. But we're already getting almost a whole point a day, which in Kaiserreich is excellent. It's a really good position to be in. Okay, CSA is pushing hard against the Great Plains, but so much of this is just space to get lost in. Also kind of looks like the... what's this? Oh yeah, anti-air. Looks like some stuff is stabilizing. And we have no civilian factories. You know, I want to go down here to the Underground Railway, but I think we need to do some of this other stuff first. Current party is Market Liberals, or Joseph Martin is country leader. Oh, well then I should do this one because then that's thematic. Yeah, it's like going back and forth. Yeah, I should do this one because if this is one that, yes, I could do it if I'm social liberal, but I could also do it if it's the compromise guy specifically. Let's do that for roleplay then. Yeah, because we gotta come down here. Then federal housing, reduce the effects of the Great Depression spirit. Yeah, we gotta do something about these consumer good factories because right now I actually don't have I don't have any factories to trade. You see, my consumer goods, I'm maxed out on them right now. So we obviously need to fix that sometime. War support, we got to do something about that too. It's being killed by the reluctant population. Alright, person of influence, who do we want to bring in here? Eleanor Roosevelt could be fun, you know, just for fun's sake, but ooh, W.E.B. Du Bois could be good down the line for his resistance growth stuff, but do not have another ambassador to Canada. License purchase cost, license production speed, license. Nah, it's not that great. It's good for roleplay, but I don't think I'm going to get him. The patriarch will not come. Ooh, Technocrat. I like this Roger Babson here with the research speed buff. 5%. That's pretty damn good. Alright, so much to choose from. Removes limited recognition. That'll help with political power cost, and we'll also get a flat 50. Yeah, actually, this is going to give us a ton of political power if we keep the lady's promise. But I gotta do something about this Great Depression. Yeah, relations into federal housing, I think. Or I could do 1-2. Both of these are just a 1-2 punch. 1-2. Reduces effects along the way. See, I don't know what all these decisions do. But I'm starting to accrue a decent amount of political power. Give me a sec, guys. Oh, I could get John Dulles. Political advisor cost minus 5%. That's not really going to pay for itself too much in the long term. Oh, but again, I also get political power gain. Yeah, you know what? Let's save up for Dulles. And yeah, we just want all the political power because it looks like some of these decisions here, I'm sure they're going to cost me political power. Yeah. Okay. What's this? Doctrines available? Oh, nice. Could get a new doctrine. So, what do I want to do here? I don't think mobile warfare is the way to go. Tanks are going to be too expensive. We could go with good old grand battle plan. Or just having really solid infantry could be good too. Entrenchment planning. Yeah, let's go with superior firepower. Yeah, just have better units than they do, because we're gonna have to make do with 7.2s and that kind of stuff, and having some good mountaineers for when we're in the mountains. We're not gonna be able to cut it doing the making tanks. Like I'm sure if we really put our backs into it, I could make 1 or 2 tank divisions, but I just don't think it's going to be worth it. And especially with all the damage that's been done in terms of supply, it's going to be too much to try to break through, to deal with, All right. So what do we got next? We could take this really ahead of time. So take the Special Forces buff. Okay, we're about to get Dulles. There we go. We are going to be swimming in political power after this. Oh yeah, America has always stood as a refuge for the tired, poor, huddled masses yearning to breathe free of the yokes imposed on them by foreign rulers abroad. While the lady and her lamp may be behind enemy lines, we can keep her fire burning and continue to prove to the world that while America may have stumbled, her doors are not closed. Okay. What else do we want to do here? I might take this computing machine. It's way ahead of time, but it's 5% research speed. That is a lot. What's the production difference on these? That costs 2 steel. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Computing machines. Let's go. Okay. But as soon as we're done with this, then I'm thinking Works Progress Administration into forming the Civilian Conservation Corps. And this is going to give us a 65 political power so that we could, which I'm guessing is what it costs to do these decisions, so we could start building up. All right, how's this looking? Good, good, good. All right, so we've got all the divisions that we need now. Now we just need 7 more factories somewhere. Man, this war support is garbage. 7-week training has been reinstated. Individual market ship has fallen by as much as 31%. So the syllabus temporarily ran out in New England and Connecticut's restored 7-week training. New recruits to be placed. Our men must be at their sharpest. Okay, yeah. So our army experience gain daily has just increased. Awesome. Because like we were just doing a 4-week basic training instead of 7, and the terrain penalty reduction has gotten better. But the Special Forces Division training time is going to go up. And you know, that almost barely matters because you could just send them out early and then train them here manually, which is what I'm setting them to do right now. Very, very nice. Improv expert, movement bonuses. Man, I wonder with the Special Forces buffs, what kind of good stuff we could do here. Oh, establishing legitimacy. We could do a goodwill tour. We could increase foreign representation. Set up a propaganda campaign. I really don't think we need to do that at all. So we're gonna need civilian factories to deal with the Great Depression. While the effects of the Great Depression modifier will automatically reduce, each of these decisions are completing focuses from the second square deal will help get rid of the modifier faster. Does it show the ticker? No, that's fine. I don't care. But yeah. We also got to do that Underground Railroad. Gosh, there's so much to juggle. Looks like MacArthur has managed to stabilize things. As the man falls into his usual routine of killing his neighbors, the animal world is not separated from the violence. A young Doberman named Jack was able to stop militia agents from blowing up a barn in Hartford. It was trained in cooperation with the Connecticut National Guard when his patrol spotted the agent who attempted to try to escape from capture. With the courage of a true American, the little dog immediately ran after them and pulled one of the 2 men down, leading to his capture. This man later turned out to be none other than Paul Rashford, a target long sought after by the Hartford Police Department for his implication in the riots only a few months earlier, and who seems to have established a whole network of operatives in Connecticut. Whilst his capture by no means marks the end of the socialist threat in the state, Jack has dealt a heavy blow to their leadership. We expect our thanks to this good boy. And that helps with stability. Yeah. Another, and of course, okay, yeah, so we got to start working on these factories. Because remember, the goal is, the short-term goal is it's kind of a dual goal. We have to get rid of the effects of the Great Depression, or at least they need to start fading. But we also want to do our second Declaration of Independence ASAP, so we can actually own all of our own shit. So we're on the road to independence. We're not there yet, but we're on the road. All right, gonna get rid of all those. I have no intention of doing any of these. We're gonna get the legitimacy naturally. All right. I'm also not gonna do any of this. Legislating freedoms. Nah. No. Okay. Sorry for the whistling. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's take a look at our field marshal here. What do we want to be giving him? I think offensive planner could be good, but fast planner might be better. Oh no, logistics. Got to do it. Wait, why can't I select this? Wait, oi, where's all my command power? That's right, because I don't have war support. You could do some preferred tactics. No. All right, who's going to be our next advisor? I was thinking the technocrat, and then I'm going to use W.E.B. Du Bois last because he's going to be really useful once we head into the rest of the nation. Wait, which one's political protege? Oh, that's good. But that 5% research speed and the factory output cannot ignore it. Way too ahead of time on that rifle, but let's keep that in the back of our minds. Here we go. Yeah. All right, WPA is up and running. Let's form the Civilian Conservation Corps, and yeah, we'll get our technocrat, and let's take a look at these new decisions. Bangor airport expansion as the furthest east state in the Union. We could do a large airfield, etc., etc. Everybody's removed. So yeah, each of these that we complete will make things go by faster. And I guess we literally only have one factory we could trade. Wow, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Then let's set the expansion going. Where's that one where we're gonna get some steel? Yeah, we might need to do steel mills of Maine, much as I hate to say it, so we could actually be building some proper infantry equipment. Because right now it's gonna take us 524 days just to fill in the ones we have right now. Second Irish Revolution. They fell to syndicalism. Okay, so what you're saying is they're not with Germany anymore. Collins tried to disband the Oireachtas and rule by decree. Supportive rival party shot and killed the president. They seized Leinster House and the apparatus of power. With their proximity to Britain and France, it was only a matter of time. Wow. So, are they still suffering from Black Monday? Well, I guess it started before they came in there, but Syndicalist Ireland, okay. War referendum has been killed in the House. Bill proposed a referendum held before Congress to declare war so that ordinary men and women the chance could vote on their country's involvement in foreign conflicts. Controversial bill, got 23 Irish-American delegates. The New England will stay away from any British Empire. Memories of the Great Fatten. Yeah. So, interestingly enough... Okay, so the bill didn't happen. There's no referendum on war. We're still going to get to pick it. Okay. Interestingly enough, a parliamentary question was raised late tonight by the discovery that the list of signers bore the name of William P. Connery Jr., a representative of Massachusetts who had died by the time the petition was being presented. The rule requires that a discharge petition be signed by a majority of the membership of the House, but the law says nothing about the signature of a dead member, and the question remains for now unanswered. Such matters must be controlled by government. So they were trying to set it up so that you could vote on whether or not to go to war. They wanted the people to vote. Well, once we get I wouldn't mind that once we have the legitimacy, but if it's before we have the legitimacy, then they got to deal with it. I know it's better for this United States of America than you. So, looks like I'd say the American Union state, actually I was going to say they were in a good position, but it's tough to say. They did lose the river above Kentucky. Oh, Dr. Seuss. 33-year-old New Englander of German descent, nearly 10 years of writing and illustrating experience. He went to Dartmouth, etc., etc. Oh, but he went to Oxford University in Union of Britain to get his PhD in English literature, where he met his future wife. I never thought about that, but yeah, you still have these really prestigious universities in the Union of Britain, so I guess even if you're not necessarily a syndicalist, you'd go over there to study. Anyway, he developed rhyme schemes for his latest book. He was fleeing New York. He's returned home to his native New England. Frustration of being consistently rejected led him to nearly burn his manuscript on Mulberry Street until he ran into an old Dartmouth classmate. The chance encounter gave way to an eventual publication at the hands of Vanguard Press. Though sales are modest, reviews have been quite favorable. The kids will love it. And so we got Dr. Seuss. And that's where we're going to end today's episode. Okay, so what we're going to do next time is, we got to start working on this Great Depression. I can't believe, we only got 2% back, but that's the slow thing. Hopefully, forming the Civilian Conservation Corps will give us a significant percentage back. You start helping with this. Then, I hate to say it, I think we're going to have to do the steel mills, even though I really don't want to. Refugees and resources also good. Yeah, there's so much to do. We've got to prep. It looks like the war is becoming a bit of a grind. Maybe with the American Union state having a slight advantage. If it goes on, though, the CSA will get stronger, I think, because they do have the industrial heartland, which is very crucial the longer the war goes. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully nobody wins before we can get in there. Alright, I'm Conquering History Games. Y'all have a good night, and see you later. Bye.